What's up, everybody? Fat Merrill. I'm driving, so it's going to be a little bit bumpy. I don't know how the volume or sound is going to be. And I'm driving in Oklahoma, which means it's extra bumpy because there's nobody in this state that knows how to pour pavement. Anyway, today what I want to talk about is the best sport. The best sport. Now, this is my opinion, which I'm pretty fond of. I like my opinion over most other people's. I believe that all sports up through the college level are preference. It's just preference. If you prefer football, then football, baseball, basketball, doesn't matter. Through college. Once you get to a pro level, once you reach the pros, it is my opinion, and you will not change my mind, that no other sport stays as pure and true as rodeo. Here's the reason I say that. Whether they're professional soccer players, football players, baseball, basketball, it doesn't matter. You name it. Once they reach a pro level, they then get contracts that guarantee them some kind of money just for being on the roster for a certain period of time. So, and it doesn't matter how they perform. The contract is given to them before the season starts. You will be paid this much money for this many seasons, spread out over this many years. Of course, they're paying that money up front with the expectations of you're going to continue to play as well as what they've seen you play. That's why they're willing to put up this money. But it's not guaranteed. So you're a professional football player and you are involved in a pretty tough play and you tear your ACL. You're out. You're done. You're sitting on the bench until you are healed. You are still getting paid. If you're a baseball player and you catch a wild pitch to the temple, you're out until a doctor passes you. You do not play. You are sitting on the bench until you are healed. But you're still getting paid. Basketball, same way. Soccer, same way. That's why and even now fighting is probably the next closest thing, because if you don't fight, you don't get paid. But even at that, when you go into the ring, win or lose, you're going to get paid. Now, you get paid more if you win. You don't get paid as much if you lose, but there's a winning purse and a losing purse. You are going to get paid just for taking the fight. In rodeo, it don't matter. If you go and you pay up your entry to get in, you give it all you've got, 100% all you've got, and you don't win, or if you don't place, you don't get paid. Now, a lot of shows depending on the rodeo, depending on the event, depending on the number of places that they're going to pay, you might finish 5th or 6th or 7th and still get paid, but it's not, obviously it goes down as the place goes down. But if you try your heart out, you traveled across the country and paid your entry, and you entered up in this show, and you try your heart out, and they're paying 7 spots, and you finish 8th, you're out. You got no money coming. Which is the same reason that you've got guys that are competing, if we're talking about like rough stock, these guys are competing with broken arms, broken legs, torn rotator cuffs, concussions, broken ankles, torn ACLs. And they're still competing. They are still giving it 100%, even though they're injured. They are riding through the pain. They are dealing with it, because if you don't go, you don't get paid. That's what I like about rodeo. And then even in the timed events, like if you're, a calf roper or a team roper, bulldog or barrel racer, any of these, now you've got a, who knows, $1,000 trailer, $1,000 pickup to be able to haul that trailer. You got a $1,000 animal that you're having to haul in order to be able to compete. And now you go and it pays 7 spots, you finish 8, you're out. You ain't getting no money. Now somebody's gonna say something about sponsorships and stuff like that, and I get that. I mean, they are, as long as they're competing at the top level, that they do have sponsors that will pay them. Sometimes they're just helping them with travel expenses and costs of entries. I mean, and sometimes they're getting paid, big contracts with those companies. Sponsorships aside, I'm talking about through the game. Whether you're playing rodeo, football, baseball, basketball, hockey, soccer, rugby, badminton, I don't give a shit what it is. Rodeo is the only one where when you show up, you are not guaranteed to get no money. It is the purest sport still going. It was also the first sport to start holding televised events again for the public through this pandemic. Rodeo was the first sport to come up with a safe way to start competing again for their fans. Think about the guys and girls who compete in rodeo during this pandemic. Same thing. Those football players and basketball players, while everything was shut down, baseball players too, while everything was shut down and there were no games being played, they were still getting paid. The guys and gals competing in rodeo, when they weren't getting to go down the road and compete, they're at home chopping firewood. They're running fence. They're getting a regular job somewhere because the bills are still coming. They ain't got no big time contracts that's still paying them to sit at home. If you don't play, you don't get paid. That's why, in my opinion, which I also believe is the right opinion, rodeo is the best sport still going. Change my mind. Like, share, subscribe. It's Fat Merrill. I'll be back with more.